All right, hello everybody. I'm Jerry D'Ambrosio. Welcome to today's webinar, How to Trade Like the Pros. Thank you guys for being here. We have a pretty good turnout so far. So before I officially kick things off, I just want to do a quick sound check just to make sure everybody can hear me and can see my screen. If you guys don't mind, just using that chat box and let me know if you can hear me, and then we'll go ahead and get started. There we go. Mark says thumbs up. William says yes. Dominic says yep. Okay, fantastic. A few things I want you guys to do for me before we really get going. Number one, grab a pen and a piece of paper. Of course, you guys want to grab something to drink, you can do that. But I will ask you guys to write something down in a little bit. So somebody out there, just grab a pen and a piece of paper. It might help everybody if you wanted to take notes as well, of course. Number two, get rid of any distractions. Anytime I listen to a webinar, if I'm in the office, I like to close the door. Put my cell phone on the other side of the office, just tell my wife I won't be available for the next hour because you guys are all here and you're ready to learn. That's why you're here. I really want to commend you guys for taking time out of your day to better yourselves as traders, right? That's what you're here for. If you're a VectorVest subscriber, that's what we try to help you guys do all the time. Just, improve your abilities as traders, to make more and more money in the market. Speaking of learning, this is what we're going to learn today. I'm going to go through 5 common principles professional traders follow. I'm going to teach you folks an extremely easy and effective short-term trading strategy, and I want to emphasize short-term. And finally, how to quickly and easily identify the best trades. And we've got a lot to cover today. I really want you to stick with me to the end. If you stay with me to the end, I'll share with you a copy of today's slides. Just somebody remind me at the end, right around, I'd say 4:35, about 20 after 5 Eastern time, so about 50 minutes from now, just somebody say, hey, Jerry, don't forget the slides, put them in the chat box, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the slides in the handouts section of your GoToMeeting control panel. I also want to thank John Marabu for being here. John is a colleague, and he will be in the background. If you guys have any questions, John will be in the background answering questions along the way. I do try to spend some time answering some along the way, but like I said, I have a ton of content to cover, so it's a little hard to stop periodically. What I will do, though, is I will answer some of the more common questions that come in, and I will, at the very end, give you guys my email address if you have any questions about anything. And if I didn't answer your question, you can, of course, email me once we're finished. Okay, so let's start off by talking about what makes a pro a pro. So what makes a professional trader a professional trader? So we'll talk about the qualities that separates these men and women from the average retail investor. And this segment here is all about getting you in the right mindset, because this isn't your buy and hold, retirement approach. I told you I'm going to teach you a short-term trading system, and I emphasize short-term because this is just that. It's what professional traders do is they develop swing trading systems, short-term trading systems. So this is for the capital that you have set aside to trade a little bit more actively. We really hope you guys are doing that. You have, your retirement portfolio, right? Your core holdings, fundamental valuation is what you're focusing on when selecting stocks, right? Price to value, earnings per share, earnings growth, sales growth, relative safety. If you're a VectorVest subscriber, you know what relative safety is. These are fundamental indicators, and those are the things that you primarily look at when selecting stocks for a long-term, and I don't want to say buy and hold, but just a longer-term portfolio, position trading. You're holding on to positions for months, sometimes years. You might have money set aside to trade options, right? So you're allocating your overall investment capital into different instruments, options, dividend-paying stocks, long-term investments, and then you have money set aside to trade a little bit more actively. We're swing trading. We're holding on to positions maybe now for a few days, maybe a few weeks, all depends on the performance. So first, a professional trader is realistic. They know that they're not going to become successful overnight. It's going to come with time and effort. Just ask anybody. I don't care if it's business or finance or sports or construction, whichever industry you're talking about. Those who got to the top will tell you that it didn't happen overnight. Okay, so you have to be realistic and know that you're not going to, become an overnight millionaire. It's going to come with some time and an effort. Okay. Next, and this is the tough part. They control their emotions. They don't allow losing trades to affect them. This is easier said than done. Pros don't think of the money first. They focus on doing the right things, making the right trades, and they know if they do that, the money will follow. So this is a tough part. I know a lot of folks have difficulties and issues with emotional decision making, getting discouraged over losing a losing trade or a cluster of losing trades. Those are going to happen. You have to accept the fact that you're going to go through periods of time where you're going to have a few losing trades in a row. So you have to kind of bounce back and not get discouraged over those losing trades. One of the reasons that they feel this way, and one of the reasons why they are able to control their emotions better than most, is because they place trades based on facts and data rather than just a gut feeling. We've all been there. We've all placed a trade or two because we just knew it was going to go up, right? We had a feeling. Pros don't have feelings. In other words, they don't react based on anything else other than the information that's in front of them. Okay? And another thing that separates, a pro from kind of the average retail investor is that they're prepared. They know exactly when they're going to get out of a trade even before getting in. And can you say that? Can you truly say and honestly say that with every trade that you place, you know exactly when you're going to get out? And I love this slide because it really makes sense here. Because when you get on a plane, what does the flight attendant do before you even taxi out of the gate? Right? They tell you how to get off the plane. So you haven't even taken off yet, and now you understand that if something goes wrong, you know exactly how to get off the plane. Okay? And that's what traders do. And they've examined and tested different techniques to figure out which one is best. And then finally, most importantly, I think professional traders are disciplined. They stay sharp and focused when things are going well, and they're resilient when they're not going so well. So they have a plan and they stick to it. And again, this kind of goes back to those cluster of losses that you all will experience. You have to be resilient when things aren't going so well because you're going to have losing weeks. You're going to have losing months. Hopefully you don't have losing years, right? And that, I think the resiliency will then come into play there if you're able to bounce back like pros do. You'll start to see a difference in the way you trade. Now, what happens if you continue? If you're somebody that I just went through 5 characteristics. If you're someone who struggles with one or more of those, whether it's controlling your emotions, whether it's not having a plan, whether it's getting discouraged over losing trades. If you continue to struggle with some of these things, you're going to go broke. I don't mean you're going to be unemployed living on the streets, but you're not going to be playing this game much longer. Losses will just keep building up and building up. You'll wind up broke with no more money to invest. If you start doing things the right way, you'll know exactly what you're doing no matter the situation. Nothing the market can throw at you will surprise you. You'll know exactly what you're doing with every trade that you place. So just think about the confidence that you'll have moving forward. And once you start to develop better habits, you'll start to see more consistent gains. Now, there's a big mistake that traders make when first starting to implement short-term trading systems. They follow unproven, complicated strategies. They feel like they need to use 5 different technical analysis indicators and 3 different types of moving averages to identify entries and exits. For some reason, new traders who are just starting out trading this way find value in complexity. Most times that's only going to lead to confusion and ultimately frustration. You're going to throw in the towel. If your system that you've created or that you're following is just too complicated and the indicators that you're using are redundant or conflicting even, it's going to really lead to confusion. You're going to throw in the towel and you're going to start or you're going to go back to doing kind of the things that you're used to doing. Jeff is asking, will we be touching on day trading? No, not at all here today, Jeff. Okay. What I do want to show you, though, is a trading system called the RSI-2. The RSI-2 trading system was developed by Larry Connors. You may have heard of Larry Connors. He's an author, written a ton of books on trading. He's also a trader, obviously. He has over 30 years in the financial markets industry. And this system, the RSI-2 trading system, focuses on stocks in long-term uptrends, okay, but are experiencing short-term corrections. And he defines that. He doesn't just say, okay, I'm going to buy stocks in long-term uptrends but are pulling back and are experiencing short-term corrections. He defines it very specifically. And what I love about this system is that it's so simple. It only uses 3 indicators, not 5, right? Or 7, or 5 indicators and 3 moving averages. It uses 3 indicators. A 200-day simple moving average to identify the long-term trend. So if price is above the 200-day simple moving average, it means the stock is in a long-term uptrend. And it uses a 5-day simple moving average and the 2-period RSI for the short-term trend. So let me show you how this strategy works. Here we're looking at Procter & Gamble from it's November of 2018 to November of 2019. Don't worry about the time frame. I'll explain why I went back this far in a moment. I'll show you a current example of Procter & Gamble, but let's look at this time frame here. And overall, during this period, great stock, right? Overall, price goes from bottom left to upper right, stays above the 200-day moving average the entire time, but pulls back, right? Stocks pull back, and it pulls back below the 5-day simple moving average. Long-term uptrend, short-term correction. Very clearly defined. Now there's another layer here, right? It's relative strength index. I just went through 2 of the 3 indicators. Price above the 200-day moving average, but below the 5-day moving average. And then the other layer here is the relative strength index. Relative strength index, RSI, is scaled between 0 and 100. And the industry standard look-back period for relative strength index is 14. So if you're looking at daily charts, which we are looking at here, we're looking at daily price bars. It's a 14-day look-back. If you were looking at weekly price bars, it'd be a 14-week look-back. If you were looking at intraday 1-minute bars, it'd be a 14-minute look-back. But it's a 14-period look-back with the extreme lower level plotted at 30 and the extreme upper level plotted at 70. And again, this is the industry standard settings. Industry standard settings. And you can plot this over on any chart over time showing the RSI movement. Now, using the industry standard settings, you can see that the RSI, 14-period RSI, only fell below 30 once. And I actually had to go back further than November of 18, because from November of 18 to November of 19, it didn't fall below 30 at all. Okay? So I had to go back to October of 2018. And you could see over this, I think it's about a 20-month or so time period, the 14 period, the industry standard look-back period, only fell below 30 one time. And don't get me wrong, that was a good buying opportunity. Okay? Now, what Mr. Connors does is he speeds up the indicator and changes the look-back period to 2. And when you do that, when you change a look-back period of an indicator, you also have to adjust your extreme levels. So here is your trading system. Larry Connors does not use the industry standard, or did not use in his development of this system. He did not use the 14-period RSI. He sped it up, and he uses a 2-period RSI, or a 2-day RSI. And the extreme lower level is at 10. So here's your trading system. Price above the 200-day moving average, but below the 5-day moving average and the 2-period RSI below 10. There's your setup. Okay, there's your setup. Price above the 200-day moving average, long-term uptrend, but pulls back below its 5-day moving average and the 2-period RSI below 10, short-term correction. All right, let's take a look at what this looks like written down now on paper. Here are our entry rules. We buy only when the stock is above the 200-day simple moving average and below the 5-day simple moving average with the 2-period RSI below 10, and we buy near the close of that day. We don't buy at 10 a.m. in the morning. We don't buy at noon. We buy at 3:55 p.m. Eastern Time. When I trade this system, I trade it at about 3:50, 3:55 p.m. Eastern Time, and I put a market order in. I just want to get in, okay? And so at 3:55 p.m. Eastern Time, I see clearly that the stock is above the 200-day moving average, but it's about to close below the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI is about to close below 10. I am getting into the trade as close to the close as possible when that happens. Okay? Here's our exit criteria. We're going to exit when price goes above the 5-day simple moving average. Remember, we are entering when it's below it. We are exiting when it goes above it. But we are not going to exit as soon as it goes above it intraday. We are going to exit near the close of the day if we see that price is about to close above the 5-day simple moving average. Okay? So let's take a look now at some chart examples. We're going to look at Procter & Gamble. And what I've done is I've zoomed in. Basically here we're looking at July of 2019. And remember when we were looking at the long-term chart of Procter & Gamble, we saw that throughout the entire period from November of 18 to November of 19, the stock's price was above the 200-day moving average, right? We know that. However, we don't see that. We don't see that on this chart right now because we've zoomed in so closely. But we all know that on July 23rd, 2019, price is above the 200-day moving average. Now let me talk to you for a second about the candlesticks as they appear in the VectorVest program. You notice we have a couple of different kind of candles. We have a red candle, we have a green candle. We have a filled candle, or we have an unfilled candle. If the candle is filled, let's start with filled. If the candle is filled, it means that the stock closed that day lower than where it opened that day. It closed at the bottom of the body and the open was at the top of the body. That's a filled candle. Closed at the bottom of the body and the open was at the top of the body. If it's an unfilled candle, it means it closed at the top of the body and it opened at the bottom of the body. We don't worry about the wicks, the highs and the lows. That's not something that we really need to even focus on here. If the candle is red, it means the stock closed that day lower than where it closed the previous day. If it's green, it means the stock closed that day higher than where it closed the previous day. So the color of the candle has to do with where the stock closed that day compared to where it closed the previous day. And whether it's filled or unfilled has to do with where it closed that day compared where it opened that day. So on July 23rd, 2019, price is above the 200-day moving average, but about to close below the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI is about to close below 10. There's your setup. We are going to enter the trade as close to the close on that day as possible. And I don't know what the stock's price was at 3:55 p.m. Eastern Time on July 23rd of 2019. So for the purposes here, I am going to use the closing price of that day. If you want to, you shave a penny or two off, we're just trying to get in as close to the close as possible. Okay, so there might be a little slippage between what you would actually get and the actual close, but for the purposes here, we're going to use the close. So if we buy at 113.85, we sell 3 days later at 114.73. Why do we sell that day? Because we see that price is about to close above that 5-day moving average. It opened below it. right? It opened below the 5-day moving average and it crossed above it during the day, but we're not just going to close it as it's crossing above the 5-day moving average. We close it right near the close of the session. We put a market order in. We're out of the trade at roughly 114.73. Now that's a winning trade. So what I want you to do, I remember I asked you earlier to take out a pen and a piece of paper. Somebody do that for me now. And I want you to tally wins and losses. We're going to tally wins and losses. We're going to see how effective this system is in finding winners or achieving winning trades. That's a win. That's a winning trade. Okay. The next day, on July 24th of 2019, we have another setup, don't we? Right? Are all three rules true? Meaning, is the price of the stock still above the 200-day moving average? Yes. Is it below the 5-day moving average? Yes. And is the 2-period RSI below 10? Yes. Now, I'm not saying that if you bought the stock the day before, that you would buy more of it the next day. If you didn't buy it on the 23rd for whatever reason, okay, maybe you didn't have any buying power left, or you weren't watching the market that day, you were on vacation or whatever, you didn't buy it on the 23rd, but on the 24th you did have buying power freed up, and you were watching the market that day, you saw the setup, and you bought it. I'm showing you every setup. Okay. Nikki says, doesn't that sell day close below the 5-day? No, this closes above the 5-day because it's an unfilled candle. It opened below the 5-day and closed above the 5-day. That's why, again, it's an unfilled candle. And relative strength index, RSI is relative strength index. So remember, an unfilled candle is where price closes at the top of the body and opens at the bottom of the body. Okay, so that's why we sell it on July 26th, is because price is about to close above the 5-day moving average. This is filled candle, meaning it opened at the top of the body and closed at the bottom of the body. Okay, so that's another winning trade, right? So what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'm going to show you every setup, every single setup, every single RSI2 opportunity, okay? And again, I'm not saying that you're going to buy more of the stock the next day. What I'm showing you is the efficacy of this trading system. So that's another winning trade. Put another tally mark in the win column. And what I'm doing here also, I'm not just cherry picking dates, by the way. I'm going from left to right. So the very next day, the very next RSI2 setup after that July 24th, 2019 setup was August 5th of 2019. Price of the stock is about to close above the 200-day moving average, but below the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI below 10. Why didn't we buy the day before? Right? Why didn't we buy the day before? Price was below the 5-day moving average, but look at the 2-period RSI. Elizabeth saying, so many times you're closing early. No. Number one, that's hindsight, right? If the stock continues to go up after your exit criteria is met, you're saying I shouldn't have closed, right? You don't know that that's going to happen. But let me say this. You're going to see in a moment kind of some performance metrics that will blow your mind. So don't worry about, you thinking you're selling early. You didn't really sell early here, did you? Right? If we buy here at 113.08, we sell at 115.52, maybe we missed another day, but again, you didn't know that. Right? So we sell at 115.52, we buy at 113.08, that's another winning trade. Okay? Elizabeth says true. Yeah. And remember, I should have said this earlier. This is not, look, you're not looking to hit home runs with this system, by the way. This is single after single after single after single after single, right? It's a short-term trading system. I told you I emphasize short-term. You're not in these trades but a couple of days. The average holding period is between 2 to 5 days. Okay? So here we have another setup. Buy at 119.88. Price is about to close above the 200-day moving average. The stock is still in a long-term uptrend, but it's pulled back and it's about to close below the 5-day moving average with the 2-period RSI below 10. We buy at 119.88. That's a nice gain there. We sell at 122.07. There we didn't sell too early. So you don't really know You don't really know unless, you look at it in hindsight. Yeah, Nikki says, do you have an average win rate of this system? You're reading my mind, Nikki. I'm getting there. But that's another winning trade. So that's, I don't know, that's 4 so far, right? That's 4 winning trades so far. We haven't had a losing trade yet. So let's keep going. I'm just moving from left to right. October 2nd, 2019, got another setup. That's the very next one prior to the September 10th, 2019. The very next one was October 2nd of 2019. Price is still above the 200-day moving average, but below the 5-day moving average with the 2-period RSI below 10. We buy it near the close of that day at roughly 120, 108. We sell 2 days later at another nice gain, $124 even. Price is about to close above the 5-day moving average. We exit. That's another winning trade. Okay. Now, I'm surprised that nobody has asked so far, what about stop losses? Okay. And I'll say this with regards to stop losses. Larry Connors developed this system not using stop losses, and I'm using air quotes, stop losses, because we do have an exit criteria, right? I've gone through a couple of examples where we exit when prices goes above or is about to close above the 5-day moving average. That is your exit criteria. Most of the time, that is going to result in a winning trade. Here, for example, it doesn't. We buy at 120.05 and we sell at 119.08. That's a losing trade. But we sold because price was about to close above the 5-day moving average. So it's not a stop loss more as it is an exit criteria. It's an exit criteria. You're exiting the trade no matter what when price is about to close above the 5-day moving average. Whether that results in a winning trade or a losing trade doesn't matter. That's when you sell. Okay, so that's a loss. We'll put a loss in the loss column. But the very next day, if you didn't buy it the day before, you had another opportunity, didn't you, right? October 15, 2019, price still above the 200-day moving average, about to close below the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI below 10. There, if you would have bought it, again, if you didn't buy it the day before, for whatever reason, you had another opportunity. You buy it at 117.20, you sell it at 119.08. That's a win. That's a winning trade. Okay? 2 days later, you had another opportunity. You had another setup. And let me say this, if you are ultra aggressive, if you're really aggressive, and you should know if you are or not, you could buy more of it as it's going down. If you enter the trade and price still continues to go down, and it's still below the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI is still below 10, if you want to buy more of it and average down, that's up to you. And I believe in the research that I did on this trading system that Larry Connors kind of puts that as a caveat, but it's a caveat to the aggressive trader, the trader that's not risk averse. Okay, you only know if that's you or not. Okay, so here we have another successful setup. We have another winning trade. We buy at 116.63. We sell at 119.08. That's another win. Okay. No, Elizabeth, I'm not going to show you how to set up this graph in the graph layout. If you want, just give our support department a call. They will walk you through it. Okay, they'll walk you through it. Nikki says, does a 5 moving average work out in real time due to lag? Does the 5-day moving average work out in real time due to lag? No, it's real-time data. So if you have real-time data and at 3:55 p.m. Eastern time, you're looking at real-time data, and the price is above the 5-day moving average, you get an idea if it's about to close above the 5-day moving average. So there's no lag with real-time data. Michael says it looks like a good day trading system. It does. It does. And from the limited research that I've done on it, it does work well. Why wouldn't it, right? Now, I don't think it works as well on 1-minute charts, but if you did it on maybe 5-minute bars, or 10-minute bars, you'd have some success. But it's a really effective system finding stocks in long-term uptrends but are experiencing short-term corrections. Okay? Andrew says, do you find the system works better with specific stocks, i.e. have you been able to backtest this system on a number? Yes, I have, and I'm going to show you those results in a moment. Okay. So somebody asked about average win rate. All right, so let's just take a look at Procter & Gamble first. So I showed you how many? I showed you 8 different examples, 8 different setups. There were 7 winning trades and 1 losing trade. Okay. Now that was from July of 2019 to I think October-ish of 2019. It was only 8 examples. But what I did was I went all the way back to November of 2018, all the way to current. Okay, all the way to current. And over that time period, probably looking at about 20 months, right? November 18, November 19, we're in July, 12, 7, yeah, about 20 months or so, 20, 21 months. For that one stock, Procter & Gamble, nice, steady uptrend, right? Pretty much above the 200-day moving average the entire time from November of 2018 all the way to recent. And I'm going to show you a recent chart of Procter & Gamble in a second. But there were 27 total RSI2 setups. Okay, 27 RSI2 setups. We know what an RSI2 setup is, right, by now? Price above the 200-day moving average, below the 5-day moving average, and the 2-period RSI below 10. There were 27 times from November of 2008 to current that happened. There were 24 winning trades and 3 losing trades. That's an 89% winning trade percentage. Okay, 89% winning trade percentage. So I'm not sure who asked about the win rate. That was just one stock. Okay, that was just one stock. Let me go a little bit further. So here's Procter & Gamble recently. So you're probably asking, well, how does it perform? You know, what happens, you know, in the current market? Well, let's take a look. This is almost to current. During this period here, right, March, April, May, June, July, the RSI2 fell below 10 a couple of times, right? Actually, more than a couple. Once, twice, 3, probably 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 or 8 times here. But why didn't we take the trade? Why weren't there so many losses during that time period? So I said 24 wins and 3 losses. That includes all of this data that we see here. Why weren't there more losses during this time period? Because during this whole last 6 months or so, price was below, there we go, good job guys, price was lower than the 200-day moving average. So there weren't any trades to take. So again, it focuses on stocks. We have to make sure that the stock is in a long-term uptrend, but pulling back and experiencing short-term corrections. Michael's asking, can you do this shorting? Yeah, flip it over. So basically, you would look for the stock's price below the 200-day moving average, but above the 5-day moving average with the 2-period RSI above 90. That's your shorting setup, and I'm not going to talk about that today, but that's your shorting setup. I'll talk about it in a little bit, okay? I'll talk about it in a little bit, but I'm not going to get into it too much here. Okay. Now, speaking of back testing, unfortunately, in the VectorVest program, there is no way to automate closing a position when the price is about to close above the 5-day moving average. There's no way to automate that. Okay? But this trading system that you see here, it uses the same exact stock selection system that I just taught you. The stock selection system that I just taught you is buying stocks when the price of the stock is above the 200-day moving average but below the 5-day moving average and the 2-period RSI below 10. This trading system, this automated trading system that goes all the way back to February of 2010, uses that same stock selection system. The exit criteria is different. It's subtly different. And the reason why it's different is because, again, there's no way to automate closing when price goes above the 5-day moving average. So I had to use within the confines of what we have within the confines of VectorVest to come up with a trading system centering around the RSI-2 system. And this is what I came up with. Since February of 2010 all the way to current, we're looking at a 544% gain. That's about 52% a year, with 91% winning trades. 202 winning trades and only 15 losing trades since February of 2010 to current. Now I know that it took a hit recently, but we're almost back. We're almost back to new highs here recently. It's recovered nicely. John says impressive. Very, very impressive. I've never seen, I've been with VectorVest now almost 14 years. I've never seen a trading system with this type of winning percentage, 91%. And look, you may run a test for a year and have 90% winning trades, but it's 9 winners and 10 losers, right? I'm sorry, 9 winners and 1 loser. 202 winning trades and 15 losing trades over a 10-year period. So I thought it was impressive. I showed Dr. Toledo, I showed Steve Chappell, I showed Ray Clark this research, and I did so back in the end of basically 2018. And oh, by the way, what's the market done over this same time period? 109%. Market's done great. It's more than doubled. That's the VectorVest composite. More than doubled over the same time period. But clearly we are outperforming the market, which is always your goal. If you don't outperform the market, do something else. Okay? But we've clearly outperformed the market. That's 10 years. Russell says, how long is a period? What is 10? Oh, this is 10 years, by the way, Russell. It's a 10-year period, 10-year back test. 10-year back test. Okay? All right, so yes, we were very impressed with this as well. What we decided to do on December 3rd of 2018 is we decided to put real money to this. Okay? And since December 3rd of 2018, it's up 28%. Real money. Okay, 28%. With 48 winners and 6 losers. And let me tell you that 5 of the 6 losers occurred during this time period. There was no way around it. There's no way around it. Leonardo's asking, what if we were in a confirmed down signal? Okay, so let me go back. This trading system here doesn't use market timing. And the reason for that is because I tried every market timing signal that we have. And I tried different variations of what to do at signals, what to do at a down signal. Do I close all positions? Do I not replace? I tried everything. And for some reason, no market timing performed the best. Okay? So during this last downturn, we left this alone. We didn't touch it. And we set out right from December 3rd of 2018. We said, we're not going to do that. We're not going to touch it. We're not going to fiddle with it. Why aren't we going to fiddle with it? Because this back test didn't fiddle with it, did it? Right? During this time period here, did the back test make adjustments? No. During this lull here, did the back test make adjustments? No. What about here? What about here? No, it didn't make any adjustments. It kept with the plan, and it continued to make new highs. Okay? And we're not quite there yet. This was our real portfolio, and you know, from December 3rd of 2018, we're not quite there yet, but we're up 28%. Okay? The VectorVest composite over that same time period, from December 3rd of 2018 to current, is only up 3%. Okay? So even with the market crash here recently, we are outperforming the market by almost a factor of 9. Right? 28% gain. Market went up 3%. That's almost by a factor of 9. Okay? Rodney says incredible. I agree. I agree. Okay? A lot of you guys are impressed here. You're thinking this is fantastic, right? But I don't have time. You might be thinking I don't have time to look at stock after stock after stock. This is you're probably thinking, well, okay, I have to enter positions near the close of every day, and if I'm going to follow the system manually, like I originally taught you, you would close positions when the stock is above the 5-day moving average. So you'd have to do that manually. The automated system is an automated system. I'm gonna talk in a moment about that automated system. But you're probably thinking you got to look at a lot of charts, right? Well, what I'm about to tell you eliminates all that time. No matter what we teach you here at VectorVest, we want you to be able to do it faster, smarter, and better. So I'm going to take a few guesses as to why you guys are here. You heard that this webinar was called How to Trade Like the Pros. You probably thought he's going to teach us something about professional traders, right? Something about how they trade. So that's why you're here today. You wanted to learn from the best. I showed you a really effective short-term trading system. The winning percentage is mind-blowing, and the overall total returns were pretty good as well. You're also here because you want to try to take emotion out of your trading. Maybe this is holding you back, and you really want to have more confidence. Okay? Maybe you're not where you want to be. You're asking the question, okay, I like this stuff. How can I take my game to the next level? The choice is you can do it by yourself. You can kind of take bits and pieces of what I taught you here today, or you can kind of get right to the answer. And that's why Steve Chappell and we put together a 6-session webcast series where we teach you trading techniques of 3 of the very best professional traders in the industry, Larry Connors included. Okay? I hope that you saw, if you learn to implement strategies like the one I showed you today, you're going to get there. You're going to get over that hump, and you're going to achieve the success that you're looking for. Let me talk to you guys for a second about Hugh. Hugh is a recent graduate of our Trade Like a Pro course. He sent me an email not too long after the course was over, and he just was so happy with his decision. He said, I'm a retired financial services executive, so I had to unlearn what the, quote, street teaches to start making money. Before taking the Trade Like a Pro course, I found it was difficult to stick with the system since there were so many variables. I never could achieve the short-term trading success I sought. After taking the course, I began to see results right away. I now have a successful approach, and I am much more disciplined with my trading. Okay? John is asking, does this system require Profit Locker Pro or RoboTrader? It does not. Okay? Yeah, so you guys are going to get the replay, Stephen, for sure. Nikki's asking, is the trend of the general market a factor? Not in the automated system, no. Right? Because that automated system doesn't use market timing. It doesn't use market timing. And I think the reason why it performs so well not using market timing is because of the technique itself. The technique itself and the way that Larry Connors constructed it, it's almost like its own, it's almost like each individual stock's timing signal. Right? Long-term uptrend, short-term pullback, price below the 5-day, RSI 2 below 10. That mechanism there, I think, is so effective that it works well, clearly, right? You saw the long-term performance. It works well in any market condition. Okay, so, no, that system does not use market timing. Ken is asking, is the system automated after we take the course? Yeah, so let me talk about what comes with the course. Okay, first module, let me just kind of go through here. First module is about you understanding and us getting you to understand what type of course this is. It's a trader's course. It's not an investment course. So you have to get into the right mindset. You have to start thinking how the pros think. We talk about risk management, order entry. In Module 2, we teach you about bullish and bearish candlestick reversal patterns. In Module 3, we talk to you about the different types of market situations. That you will experience. Trending markets, channeling markets, extreme situations, and then we'll teach you the indicators to use in each situation. Then we get into the pros techniques, and Steve Chappell teaches you a technique called the Holy Grail, which was developed by Linda Ratchke, and it's both for bullish and bearish markets. It's a short-term trading system. I come in Module 5, teach you two systems, one called the 50/50, the other called 80 Excellence. These were developed by Charles Schaap. I teach you these systems, and I'm also going to teach you how to use the VectorVest program to find the trades. And then finally, the highlight of the course, we'll talk more about the RSI2 trading system. If you guys have been looking for, many of you have, I'm sure, a systematic way to trade ETFs, both bullish and bearish ETFs, Larry Connors has created a system. It's called the RSI25, and I'll teach you that as well. A special bonus, registering for this course, we will give you this 6-week webcast series. It's called Master the Art of Candlestick Analysis. We touch a little bit on candlestick reversal patterns in Module 2. Here is an entire course on candlestick reversal patterns. Okay? Normally, we'd sell this course for $9.95. We're going to throw it in free with the Trade Like a Pro course. Okay? Here's Randy. Randy was another recent graduate of our Trade Like a Pro course. He sent me an email. He said, I'm a retired secondary school teacher of math and computer science. Ever since I was 13 years old, I followed the stock market. I'm now 67, and since retiring, I primarily day trade and swing trade both in the U.S. and Canadian markets. Prior to taking the Trade Like a Pro course, I had some success, but I always felt that my approach to trading was missing something, like a technique or a mindset. He just wasn't in the right mindset. I always struggled with entry and exit points, primarily exit points. I thought if I didn't get a handle on this, my returns would remain stagnant. After the first module, I started trading the following week with more confidence and a more positive approach. Okay, so here's some more bonuses. John says, usually there are more goodies later on. True? Yeah, so let's get to all of the bonuses that you guys are going to get. So I talked about the 6 modules. Those are pre-recorded modules. And the great thing about our new VectorVest University is that you get all of those modules right away. If you've ever taken a course in digital chalk before, right, a VectorVest course that we've delivered in digital chalk, you know that even pre-recorded modules, we used to release them once a week. We don't do that anymore in the new university. It's almost like Netflix. It's on demand. As soon as you register for this Trade Like a Pro course, you get immediate access to our new university. You can watch all of the modules. You can even watch all of the old live mastery sessions that we did during the last course. You get all the homework assignments, all the slides, everything. Okay? Now, hold on one moment. Give me one moment. Okay, so a couple of the other bonuses you're going to get. You're going to get 6 live mastery support sessions. So for this particular course, we are going to be delivering 6 live mastery support sessions. I'll talk about the dates and when those will be held. But these are great because they are there to help you actually implement what you learned in the course. We'll take a look at the things you're doing, questions you have. You'll be given homework assignments. We'll go over those homework assignments in these mastery sessions. So Steve and I will be there to guide you through this entire process. You will also get, if you don't already have our VectorVest real-time program, you will be given 60 days access to it. 60 days access to VectorVest real-time. Real-time comes included with the Pro Trader searches, comes included with the auto timer as well, which is going to come into play in a moment. Just kind of sit tight. Also, this is my favorite session. This is essentially Module 7. It's a bonus session. This is a live trading session. So after Module 6, the week after Module 6, we are going to get together early in the morning, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to go through everything from market analysis to stock setup to execution to management. Okay, and we're going to trade. We'll trade with the I'll show you guys the Robo Trader tool. You don't need the Robo Trader tool, but I'm going to show it to you. And we'll trade on paper, and we'll place some trades, and we'll kind of put it all together. And you will understand after this session how to implement the techniques that we teach you. All right, here's the best part. This is huge too. Exclusively for workshop attendees, you will receive pre-built scans that will make finding your trades really, really easy. You were probably thinking, I know a lot of you guys, a couple of you guys were saying, is there unisearches to find these stocks? There are, exclusively for those who do take the course. And the legwork has been done already. I built these scans to quickly and easily find the best candidates to trade. And it will be automatically inserted into your VectorVest 7 program, so you don't have to build them yourselves. Mike is asking, is the automated system available for the Australian market? No, it's not. It's, Larry Connors, you can build it in the Australian market. I don't know how well it translates. Larry Connors developed a system for the U.S. market. Support can walk you through that, Miles. They'll be able to walk you through that. Okay. Also, you will get this trading system. You will get this automated version of the RSI2 trading system that, again, from December 3rd of 2018 all the way to current, has 88% winning trades, 48 winners, and only 6 losers. Okay, and again, I know it took a hit recently, but let's just look at the big picture and not just the last couple of months or one turn or one market pullback. Remember earlier I said that one of the things that professionals are, they're resilient, right? They know that there are going to be times where things aren't going so well, but they have their plan. They stick to that plan. They have confidence in that plan. It's the rigorous testing that they've done throughout the years that gives them confidence in that plan. Okay, so look, it was rough to live through that. Trust me, I was watching it as the market was crashing and it was just going down, down, down. But then I always went back to the back test. I always went back to the long-term performance, and I looked at times when the market went down and this thing suffered, but it eventually continued to make new highs. And remember, the market's only up 3% over that same time period. Okay, so you will get, exclusively for those that register for the course, you will get that trading system as well. Okay, most importantly, you're going to get as close to hands-on training as possible by both Steve Chappell and myself. Both of us will be manning the chat rooms. We're going to tag team the mastery sessions. One will deliver it, one will be in the background answering questions. So we're going to be there with you guys through the entire process. Now, normally the regular price for this course is $29.95. Our early bird rate of $24.95 is still available. But however, if you register before the end of today's webinar, and I'm going to ask John to put that website that you see at the bottom there in the chat box. It's www.vectorvest.com/TLP. Okay. Russell's asking, what about tax support strategies? No, we don't cover tax support strategies, anything like that. Michael says, if the stocks were trending above the 200-day moving average, why was the system trading during the big drops? They weren't trading. We weren't buying more, but our stop criteria was stopping us out as losses, and the stocks that we had prior to the crash, they were getting stopped out as the market was falling. But because the market was falling and no stocks met the criteria of the RSI2 setup, we didn't replace until the market started to recover. Okay, Michael, hopefully that makes sense. We weren't replacing because no stocks would meet the criteria, but the ones that we had prior to the drop, they were getting stopped out, and we got crushed. And you'll understand what the stop criteria is once you take the course. Okay, so here are the dates for the live mastery sessions. Our first live mastery session is, let's see, the 29th, so 3 weeks from yesterday. So we still got some time. 3 weeks from yesterday, that's our first live mastery support session. Okay, they will be on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And then our live trading session will be on the 8th, September 8th, and that will start at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Dominic is asking, are the mastery sessions recorded? Yes. So the mastery sessions will be recorded, and the old ones that you will be able to view once you register and get access to the new university and get access to the course, they will be replaced with the new ones as we deliver it. Okay? And that goes for every course that we have and any new content that we deliver. So, and that's also different from the old digital chalk, because in the old digital chalk, you got your modules, you got your mastery sessions, and for the entire year, by the way, you have access to this course in the new university for an entire year. In the old digital chalk, you wouldn't get new content if it was delivered in a new offering. Here you do. So if 6 months from now, for example, Steve and I decide to re-record the modules and do them live, we will replace the old modules that you currently will have access to with the new ones. So you'll always get new content as it's delivered. Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Warren. Whoops. I'm going to insert the slides, guys, into your handout section of your GoToMeeting control panel. I'm going to do that right now. Thanks for reminding me, Warren. Appreciate that. Okay, guys. So www.vectorvest.com/TLP. Thank you, John, for putting that in the chat box. I'm going to stick around, guys, for a few more minutes here to answer some questions if you guys have any. But my email address is jerryd, that's Jerry, D as in David, at VectorVest.com. Again, that's jerryd, Jerry, D as in David, at VectorVest.com. If I didn't get to your question, or if you have more later tonight or tomorrow or any time, particularly during the course, okay, because Steve and I are, we're not just going to be there to do the mastery sessions and answer questions there. We will give you guys our email addresses. You'll email us if you have any questions. If you have a stock, you say, hey, Jerry, what about this stock? I think it's a good Holy Grail setup. What do you think? And we'll continue that moving forward. Dominic said 7-to-1 win ratio in case you needed it. Yeah, I appreciate that, Dominic. Yeah, that was over that eight sample size example for Procter & Gamble. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you guys for being here. Have a great rest of your evening. On behalf of Steve Chappell, this is our favorite course to teach. We love this course so much. So we really look forward to working with you guys. So if you have any questions, just shoot me an email. Samir is asking, does the RSI-2 work with ETFs? No, but the RSI-25 strategy does. And that's one of the strategies that Larry Connors has created and that I will teach you in Module 6. Okay? All right, guys, have a great rest of your evening, and we will see everybody soon. Take care, everybody.